Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Otis Smith. Today, I got two legends in the building today. I got the sophisticated soul man himself, Mr. Will Downing. I have another legend at the bottom of the screen, one of the greatest love songs of all time. I'm talking no other than Mr. Lenny Williams. How you doing, sirs?
Doing great.
Good, man. Glad to be in such great company.
I'm glad that you guys both came back on the show and blessing me with your presence. So that make me feel like I did something right the first time. I wanted to have you guys on the show because one of the things I like to do with my guests is try to also make sure I humanize you guys, because sometimes people see what you guys do professionally and don't understand that you guys also have families, that they're people that know you guys and love you guys. And so I wanted to bring you guys on the show today to talk about fatherhood. And my first question for both of you guys is, once you guys knew that you were going to be a father and your child or children were born, what did fatherhood mean to you guys? How did that hit for you guys?
Go ahead, Will.
Williams, hey, you're probably a father before I was.
Yeah, I was. I started out young. I started out at 18. I was a young teenage preacher, and they said it's better to marry than to burn. And I was on fire, and so I got married, and I tell you, when now almost 9 months to the day, had a beautiful son, Leonard Jr. to be born. But it let me know that that I had a responsibility.
Okay.
I had a father that was there who paid the house note. When the toilet broke, he fixed it. Fence fell down, he fixed it, whatever. And so I knew that I had certain responsibilities, and I was up for the task, but I just didn't realize that that there was a lot more to just fixing things and paying the house bill and stuff like that. That you had to act in a certain ways, and that they were watching you, and that they learn from you.
Yeah. Hey, listen, yeah, and you were ahead of me.
Yes.
I thought when I had mine at 19, and married at 20.
Yes.
And it was the same thing,
Yes.
I remember my then girlfriend. She came home and said, "I'm pregnant." No, actually, I came home. She called me and she said, "I'm pregnant." And she said, "My parents are so happy." I was like, "Okay, well, yeah." and here we go.
Here we go. Right. Yes. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was a singer. I was in the clubs and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden it was, okay, you got like a little person coming, and the responsibility of being a parent, was thrust upon me. So, it's an amazing fraternity to be in.
Right.
These kids do not come with manuals, so we were growing up at the same time.
You learn on the fly. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
at least you guys' response was better than mine. My wife, I tell the story all the time, people know it's not like I'm out, but my father had just passed, and I found out I was going to be a father 2 weeks later.
Wow.
And so my backdrop is a picture of my dad. And
nice.
yeah, he always had that Gerald Levert beard. I can't get that thing like that. He always had that. And so I remember my wife, before she wasn't my wife yet, but she said, I'm pregnant. And for some reason, because I was like 25 when she said it, but the dumbest thing came out my mouth, and it was by who?
Oh my goodness.
And because I was still grieving, and so my head wasn't in it. But what was funny?
Are those your real teeth?
Well,
did you stuck your teeth out your mouth?
No. The reason I'm laughing, Will. Hold on, Will. Let me tell you why I'm laughing. Okay, so Mr. Williams, listen. My wife these front two teeth, I had they were knocked out when I had a motorcycle accident.
Sure.
So so check this out. So my wife paid for me to get bridge work. These teeth, and she always tell me, she said, "Now you know if you ever leave, you gotta leave them teeth, right?" So when you said that, that made me think of that. She said, "You leave now." So I like, I can't even take now. She's not, no, you gotta let another woman take care
Part
of
of the
the
deal.
I'm
heard
like,
that. Yeah.
and I'm sitting here like, how did I get here? But when my first daughter was born, I don't know if you guys did it, but I'm in the delivery room. My wife is, had my daughter Jasmine. She fell asleep, and I'm holding my daughter, and I'm doing nothing but making promises.
Mm.
I'm doing nothing but like, I got you. This, that, and the other. I'm just, just going all those things. And like both of you said, I had a sense of responsibility that I knew that it was no longer about me and what.
Right.
My firstborn was born in I would say ancient times, and so they didn't allow men in the delivery room back then, right? Yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay.
yeah, that hadn't started yet. They weren't saying we're pregnant then. It was like she's pregnant, yeah, and so it wasn't a communal thing. It was just like she's pregnant. You got to get to work and go and get a crib and
Yep.
buy a crib and all this other kind of stuff and buy some Similac or whatever, diapers and everything like that. And her and the doctors do the work. But I kept on having children, so eventually, I did become, and that became, prevalent that that men were going to the. I guess now they expect you to go, right? I mean, it's like
You better be in there.
it's an anomaly if you don't go now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
better be
Odd
in
man
there.
out for real.
Yes. Yeah.
What as fathers, what makes us naturally protect our daughters but teach our sons? We don't I mean, we protect our children, but we don't protect the boys like we do the girls. Like the girls is, it's something about them daughters, because they give you nightmares too.
Hey, listen, I
Lenny,
think deep down
I'm
inside,
to both of you. Hold on. Here he is right here. Hold on. Here he is right here. Hey man, I'm doing okay.
man, I forgot. Man, you ain't
Right.
see when I'm.
Yeah, that happens, right? Yeah.
That's why I said it's
They
a Friday, man.
they talking about you right now. Will said you forgot.
Yeah,
Will said,
real bad.
They got that personal secretary, Yeah, right. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
They say,
All
"Who's
right.
your personal secretary?" I say,
He
"Here I
said
is."
You're right. Yeah,
he
it
said
is.
he said it'd be on in 5 minutes. Give him 5 minutes. It'd be on. I wanted to know from you guys, because for me, like when first of all, when my daughters was born, I could hear God laughing, and I kept saying, this ain't funny, because it seemed like it was a revenge type thing. I was like, but for you
That was
guys,
gonna be my answer to you when you said
was it
you said that. That was gonna be my answer to you. That was gonna be my answer to you when you said that. I said, you know what the answer is. Like you protect your daughters because you think about you pursuing, somebody's daughter, somebody's.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I believe so. Yeah, I mean, I remember my daughter met a young man, and she was like deeply in love with him. And I said, "Well, what is it that attracts you to him?" And she said, "He reminds me of you." I said, "Oh, he ain't."
Oh my God!
He said, "Well, I got to break this up now."
Right, exactly, right. Yeah, I got to get in there right now, right there. Yeah. And,
so what you said, you were thinking about the young you. You were thinking about the.
Now I'm thinking about me.
At that point.
Hey, God ain't finished with me yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Still working on me. Yeah, right. Yeah. Hey, he created the earth in 7 days, but
yeah, he said it took a little longer for you.
Take a little longer for Brother Williams, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Brother Williams. It's funny that both of you guys say that, because that is Will, you said it best. There ain't no need to fool ourselves
No.
trying trying to be like, oh, that's daddy's girl, and is you are protected because you are scared that somebody is gonna try to do to your daughter to when you was foolish out there, and then think about um that was someone else's daughter too, and so
Right.
you keeping your daughter close, you know.
Absolutely.
Does so now I didn't have the pleasure of now I do have a son. He was there when I met my wife, but I call him my son. I don't use the word step. Um, when you with boys, raising boys, for you guys, do you think that it's and today we're lacking that man really teaching these young guys how to be a man, how to pick your battles. Like everything is not a battle. You can't fight all the time. You got to know when to pick your battles to get that wisdom from. Do you guys feel like today we're just really missing that father or that uncle or someone? Because I had many men, but just besides my father, that helped shape my life.
I'm deferring to you, Will.
Okay. Well, it's certainly lacking this day, and it has nothing to do with boys in general. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's just young folks today. They have access to so much information that
Mm-hmm.
you can't really tell them anything, or you try to tell them something, and they rather go to Google and to get their information, or as you just said, they have a tendency to take things a little bit too far, and they they lack guidance. They don't want guidance, so
Mm-hmm.
if you get them while they're young, like really young, then you can
Okay.
kind of trick them into something. But once they hit like those teenage years, it's like they just have to experience life. I mean, at least that's the way it feels these days.
Right.
So if
Yeah,
you don't get them
yeah,
young, if you're not in their life at a young age, it's an uphill battle.
yeah. I raised my boys prior to the internet and everything like that, the advent of the internet. And so, but it's interesting that they were born. I mean, they lived in Mountain View, right in the heart of Silicon Valley. Spent a
Okay.
lot of their formative years there. But yeah, I spent time with my boys. Every day I was with them. Playing basketball, baseball, just things that I couldn't do in terms of with their math, getting them tutors and things like that, and teaching them and letting them know about other cultures, how other cultures that getting an education is almost like religion to some of these other
Yep.
cultures, and showing them people who immigrants who've come here and how they become a success, and then
Mhm.
ride around with them, and we go to the hood, and it's like, look at all those guys over there standing over there, they
Mm-hmm.
20 something. Why aren't they at work? And do you think that they're there and they're unemployable because society's just messing over them, or do you think they had any complicity in that? Did they do? What do you think? Just analyze the situation. It's 10:30 in the morning. They ain't work. They drinking. They smoking. What do you think? Did society do that? Did racism do that, or do you think they did something and maybe there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that? Try to let them put the puzzle of life together and see, all the pitfalls that life has for you, and you got to start negotiating that kind of stuff, when
Mm.
you leave the house in the morning.
Yep.
That's amazing. My dad did somewhat similar. He didn't ask the question like you did, but he did the same thing. We would drive around and we would go to, the not so friendly places, in Atlanta. And he always told me, he would say, well, now you're not better than them. You're no better
Mhm.
than them. He said, but what's the difference is the choices me and your mother made and the choices you will make going forward.
Right.
Mhm.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I did that with my daughters. I did the exact same thing with my daughters. And so to know that you did that, I think that's something that is missing, that we need
Well,
to we need to start doing more of showing them all sides of life, and like you said, the choices to get there. Like you said, certain. There he is. So now that y'all know I didn't lie. Y'all know I didn't lie, cause Will, the pressure was on me. Will, the same thing happened, Will,
Hey,
when I
listen, man.
when I had you and Keith Robinson on, and the pressure be on me, man. Be like, all right, man, that boy don't know no Najee. They don't know no nothing. Hey, boy.
I thought Najee was on stage making another kind of money.
Uh-huh.
Your mute is on. Your mute is on.
All right, can you guys hear me?
There we go.
Hey.
What's up, brother Will? How you doing?
What's up, man?
Good. What's up, brother Lenny? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Good, man, I haven't seen you in many years. We worked
Yeah,
together
yeah,
many years ago together. I think it was in California somewhere, Oakland or something,
Yeah, probably Oakland. Yeah, I was in Oakland today. Yeah, as a matter
Oh,
of fact.
okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to see y'all.
Yeah, I used to be in a band a long time ago at school, and and I'd be sitting in the horn section and watching the reed players moisten they reed, and I just want to taste that, and
Well,
I envisioned, some kind of licorice or
no,
some berry or cherry, and I finally got a chance to. I was like, oh my goodness, right? Yeah,
no, man. Actually, you know what? There is no flavor to it. It's
I
at
know.
times
I
if you
found
get
that
the
out.
wrong reed, it could taste like tree bark, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I found out eventually. Yeah, so, yeah.
Oh man, it's good to see you guys. How you doing, Will? How's it
Man,
going,
I'm
brother?
good, brother. I'm good.
It's
I'm good.
good to
I'm
see
good.
you,
Great
man.
seeing you, bro.
Yes, sir. I was sorry to see you on I was happy to see you, but for the reason on Tamara show.
Yeah,
But it was a great interview, so
man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate and man, thanks for playing an amazing solo on the song, man.
thank you, brother. Hey man, that what? Come on, man. That's all you got, I'm 10 digits away from you, man.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Najee, the
Yes,
first
sir.
time the first time I interviewed Will,
Uh-huh.
I brought your name up. I don't know if you remember, Will. I said, you ought to do something with Najee. Will said, yeah, we can collab, and I was like, oh, okay, well,
You know what? I still owe him money from the very first time we recorded.
Man, get out of here.
If you don't want it, I'll take it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
And I didn't get a chance, but once again, Najee, thank you. Will, I had just had like 2 deaths in my family. I had both of my uncles pass in 48 hours of each other. And then my aunt died. And Najee had left me tickets when he was in Atlanta. I came to see him, it was about 2 years ago.
Yes,
and Najee, my wife and I, we still fight about you because
really?
yeah, because I text Najee and the beautiful thing, and I'm gonna ask you this question, Najee, before I ask it. Will, he sent me the tickets he left me. He sat me right next to his daughter. I was sitting next to his daughter, and it was your granddaughter. I think she had.
But I don't know. It might have been. I have 4. My daughter and her husband have 4 children.
Okay,
together.
So the concert was over, and Najee said, "Hey, just hang back. I'm gonna come get you, because I want to, see him face to face here in Atlanta." So my wife says, "I'm tired." I'm like, "Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. We didn't been running all week with the family, and I'm ready to go home." I said, "Okay." I get on the highway. Soon as I get on the highway, who calls me, Will? Najee.
Where you at?
Where you at? And I'm looking and now the rule is now, Najee, I gotta find somebody else to go to concert with, because I can't when I'm trying to meet you guys and just say hello and all that, and then the wife ready to go. So I can't take her no more. I can't take it anymore with me. But I had asked Will and Lenny before you came on, like for you, because I did get a chance to meet your lovely daughter. What was it like for you when you found out you were going to be a father and you were going to have a child? What was, especially a girl? What was that like for you?
Well, actually, my first child was born when I was 18. My son, he's now
Oh, you and Lenny hanging out. Oh Lord.
46, probably. He's 46 now. But for me, man, it was always a special moment, especially my daughter, because when she was in the womb, I would talk to her.
Okay.
So I recall when she came out of the womb, as soon as she heard my voice, she stopped crying, like she knew who I was automatically.
Wow.
And she's truly a daddy's girl, all the way. So,
All
but for me,
right.
man, I think every one of my children, man, they've been special moments. And I always say my first son is the reason I changed my life, because I was at 18 years old. I did my very first world tour playing in a group. Did USO tours all over the world. And 18-year-old kid, that was a great experience. But when I found out my son was born, I stopped drinking, I stopped hanging out, I stopped smoking marijuana. I mean, I did it all, because I just wanted to be in good state of mind to try to be a father, as best I could at that time. So
No wonder there was a flood of marijuana in my neighborhood.
I left it all behind for you, brother.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Yeah,
What is
actually,
it?
actually, he's actually segued to the next question, which was
Okay.
once you guys became fathers, did it make you slow down a bit? I know, basically, with your careers, you guys still had to go and make money because that's what we do as fathers and men, a provider. But did it make you slow down because you're thinking, I can't hang out all like this because I got to go home and check on my child or my children?
Oh,
Did you
without
go
a
ahead
doubt.
with that, Will? You go ahead, Will. I
Oh,
know.
hey, man, listen, without a doubt, I was party king. And then, then it was, well, if you're going out, guess who you taking with you? You know, or you better make it home by a certain time because the baby needs and like, all right, okay. So yeah, it certainly it grounds you. It makes you grow up.
It does.
You take on the responsibility if in fact you are a responsible parent. Um, you take on all the needs of taking care of a human being that can't take care of themselves. So it's a real job. It's the real deal. So I certainly changed.
You have to have priorities. I did some drug counseling for a few years,
Hmm.
working with young men over in San Francisco and Oakland, and a
Okay.
lot of them were, street dudes, and they were they would come see me because they were on drug diversion, and of course, all the little drug dealers, when they get caught, if they cover a small amount, they claim that they're users, but they really aren't. So they can get the little tap on the hand, but I would always tell them, hey, you just got to get your priorities together. You know, uh, if you're not going to stop doing what you're doing, make sure that at 3 o'clock you at the school picking up your kids. You know what I mean? You leave
Right.
that at home and you go pick up your kids, and then you take them to get and sit down with them, do their homework and read them a book and all of that, and tuck them in. And then, then you punch the clock, at 9 o'clock, hit the corner, do what you got to do if you're going to keep on doing that. But you need to always work in your children, and so that when, if you ever go to jail, or when you decide to change,
Hmm.
you're not playing catch up. You've already kind of laid the foundation. So I think that spending time, whether have the discipline like Najee had,
Hmm.
to just bam, let it go, but always try to figure out a way to, give your kids some time that's their time, no matter what.
Right.
Well, I know for me, my children grew up with me because it was. I think the career naturally has uh, inherent
Right.
demands that
Right.
as a father, I've spent a few years, in all honesty, with my children, trying to repair some of that time, if you will. You
Hmm.
know, they've always loved me. I've always loved them, but I don't think in their growing up and in their development they could understand the distance and the need to travel. Especially as Will, and Lenny would know. In the very early parts of your career, you
Hmm.
spend most of your time just trying to build the career.
Right.
You're away a lot, and you're not a 9 to 5 guy. You're going to be home at 6 o'clock for dinner. So I've had these discussions with my children in order to try to, let them know, no, this is just, I was a young man trying to figure it out, while I had you guys as a responsibility. And you know, in some cases, some still hold on to stuff, but my children are, you know, pretty much they love their father and they're with me. You know, they understand now that they're adults. So, yeah.
And that's always
Growing up,
always
right?
that's always been amazing to me. No matter what you do, your kids see you as who you are to them, as far as
Exactly.
the father. Like it's always a thrill to sit and talk to all three of you guys. And trust me, when I finish this interview, ain't nobody gonna ask me nothing. Trust me, ain't nobody ask me nothing. I sit there and I'm sitting here scratching my head like, man, I talked to Will and Najee. I could call Najee, you know, a second time having Lenny Williams on, and don't nobody care about that but me. I'm the only.
Hey, listen, I say the same thing when I see these two guys. I said, nobody cares about me. Najee and Lenny.
that what you said, Will?
I'm in my mind, I'm thinking it, even as you're speaking.
You thinking the
What the hell
same
am I
thing?
here for?
But I tell you what I love about you guys and why I want to do this with you is you guys are sincere. Like I said, Najee and especially Lenny, you guys came on my show when I was just trying to build it. I was just getting, and for you guys, and then Will. Now I'm gonna make you a little jealous, Will, but
Uh-oh.
before I got off the show, the first time I interviewed Najee, before I got up, Najee said, hold up. He picked up his flute and gave me a mini concert just that quick. And I was like, wow. Because I never, try to ask you guys to do stuff like that. Because, people will be trying to get y'all to do stuff for free. And I was like, no.
He didn't charge you?
Nah, he didn't charge me. Don't be
You
putting
sure?
negative
You
thoughts.
sure?
Don't be putting negative stuff out in the atmosphere.
You sure? I listen because I know him. I know him.
Hey, listen, Najee, we here.
Yes,
we don't let Will influence you in a negative way. And,
well, don't get it twisted, Otis.
Hey, come to the dark side, literally.
I only do it for people I like.
I appreciate, and that's
you got to invoice my phone. Trust me.
Well, well, that's why I said that, and Mr. Williams gave me a story of all time how he created "Cause I Love You" while he was singing so hard, and I said, wow. I mean, it just blew me away. And by the time I got to you, Will, at least I had some reels I could send to people and say, okay, look, I interviewed Najee, I interviewed, but these two guys, I didn't have nothing to send.
Man,
and they did it. So I appreciate. That's why I wanted to do this with you guys. What is the one thing you guys could say that your kids would say about you that could sum up who you are as a person? What would they say? They waiting on you, Will. You know, we got to start with you, Will. They waiting on you, Will.
I think it would depend on who you ask, honestly. So
you got one character trait that I bet if I ask them all, they're gonna give me one thing they can say, nah, Dad don't, nah,
That's a hard one, man. I really.
Yeah, I think that kids are individuals, right? Yeah, and so so they have different. I have a daughter that I need to go to counseling with sometimes, right? And then I have other kids that think I'm the greatest thing ever. Like Najee was talking about traveling when you were young. I remember I went to Japan and I was going to be gone a long time. So I went and bought 30 cards and I filled them out. And every day I would mail one. Say the same thing, cut the grass, be nice to your mama, do your homework, whatever. But my boys, every day they would go to the mailbox, there was a card in there from me. So my boys always feel like my dad was a constant in my life, I mean, he was every day dude, and so just always there. And I think that's having a presence is important.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, for me it would be hardworking. I think I would hear that from my kids. Responsible, inclusive, always there, those sort of things. Taught them right and wrong so that they'd be able to stand on their own 2 feet. Gotcha. That sort of thing. So to be a parent, I mean, I kind of grew up with the mentality that I was raised with my parents. I'm not your friend. I'm your parent.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, hey, I ain't your buddy. I
Yeah.
ain't your pal. You know, we can have some yucks together, but you know, my job is to get you to a certain level, you know, so that you can take care of yourself. And then when you got that, then you know, my job is done. So
Well, you know, for me, my daughter was my daughter, my son, all my children have been on the
Mhm.
road with me. You know, in the summer times when we had tour buses, we don't do many tour buses anymore, but back in the day when we had tour buses, they would in the summer times when they were out of school, they'd be on the road with me. And even I recall one time when I was touring with Prince,
Mhm.
summer vacation, not summer, spring vacation had come up, and you know, Prince was notorious for booking dates last minute. I mean, I wish Will and I and Lenny we could do that, but he was notorious for that. And he would say, "Hey, man, I just booked 2 weeks." I'm like, "Well, you know, that was my vacation time with my boys," and he was like, "Well, bring them on the road with you." I'm like, "Okay," and he would actually pay for them to come with me.
wow.
You know,
Okay.
he'd send the limo the whole bit. You know, he was really good. So, you know, a lot of times I had to parent while in motion. You know, and
Mhm.
you know, because unfortunately, mother didn't work out, you know, whatever. But, you know, I tried to keep a presence, as Lenny would say, to the best of my ability. But um, it was challenging to do while working. So I had to include them in my travels when they were young. You know?
Oh,
But
that's
now, let me tell you real fast. So recently, maybe about
uh
4 years ago, 3 years ago, we had 4 years ago, we went to Nigeria, and it was my habit, and Will probably does this too. When you negotiate these international dates, you always negotiate an extra ticket for in case one of the kids want to come. Well,
Mhm.
now I call them up. I say, "Hey, listen, we're going to Nigeria. You know, I got this extra ticket. I'd love you to go." They're like, "Dad, we got lives now. We ain't into all this no more."
Yeah.
most people would give their right arm to go to
I
Africa.
know, man.
Oh man, Dad, I got a life now. You know, so,
Yeah,
I
my
got you.
youngest, I have to tell her like you got to go to know. She's always like,
right,
you know, I'm gonna make so you can breathe in. Well, you can see it online. I said,
right.
you got to taste the food. You got to get with the culture, get with the people, see how they actually their daily lives are, see how it
Right.
differentiates from yours. You know, you got to like inhale Oh yeah, I can just see it online. Yeah, you can do.
You're
So
right,
you
They have
exactly.
like
so
walking tours.
y'all need to call me and Lenny. That's what y'all need. Y'all need to call me and Lenny. Tell Lenny we'll go.
Well, you know, it's just funny for me how things change though. You know, when they were
Yeah.
little, that was exciting. Now,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, I guess because they were exposed as young children, it's no big deal to them now. Now,
Yeah.
and when I was a kid their age, I mean, my radius of where I lived was less than 10 miles. You know,
Right.
Right.
But I mean
I
that
was
goes to
close.
show how
Yeah,
you shared with them, you know, I mean, where they aren't wide-eyed, you know, about things. They're not
Right.
wide-eyed about a Mercedes or you know, nobody, you know, they're not wide-eyed about
Right.
opulence and things like that because they've been exposed to a lot of that. And that's a good thing, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a very good thing. So, and sometimes it could be you just dad now. Like
Right.
Right.
I'm
It ain't no
not
big
really
deal.
trying to hang
Oh,
out
no
with you.
him? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm really not trying to hang out with you. You know, because you ever notice no matter how cool or hip or we think we know what's going on in the world, our kids are looking at us like, you know, yeah, they
That's
they
so
not
true.
trying to they, they not trying to hang, and that's why now with my grandkids, I try to play with them because I'm trying to be somebody's hero. So I go to the grandkids now. So I'm their hero. You know, I'm Papa. So I let that hang out as long as it lasts because I know one day they ain't gonna be trying to hang out with
What do
me.
your grandkids call you? What do they call you?
Papa.
They call me the same thing. That's fine.
Yeah.
Mine's call me Papa. Yeah. I've
They call-
got great grands now. I got
Yeah,
two.
you got
I ain't
grandchildren?
got that yet. I ain't got that yet.
Have you, Will? Have you had your grandchildren yet? Are you
Oh
there
yeah,
yet?
yeah, yeah. Shoot, my,
Oh,
my
okay.
grandson Carmelo, he's 12. Shoot, he called
Oh,
me
what does he call you? What does he
Papa
call
down there.
you?
Papa died. Hey,
I-
hey,
That's my
hey.
man.
That's cool.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
How did you guys when you were in the midst of balancing your professional lives and being a parent, how did you pick up on the sensitivity of what you guys were talking about? Like, hey, I need to like Najee, you said, hey, like when Prince called and said, hey, we're going on tour, and you was like, well, hold on, this is my vacation time with my boys. You know,
Yeah.
when did that sensitivity kick in that you knew, like, yes, I have this career. Yes, it's amazing. I get to travel the world. I get to do all these things. But like Lenny was saying, I gotta be present though. I gotta be present. When did you guys pick up on that sensitivity to know certain things you had to turn down, or to, like you guys were stating, to include your children in your careers, what you were doing?
You want to go first? Anybody else? All right. Well, for me, I think it was when I got divorced. Unfortunately, divorce has a terrible impact on kids,
Right.
and sometimes when adults are going through something so severe, the children unfortunately can't express the pain they feel, or the anxiety of the separation, the upset of the family structure as they've known it as kids. So it took me making a commitment that even past the divorce, I was going to do my best to be present in their lives, and
Sure.
to try to do as much as I can, without getting into little spats with the ex and all that, because
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure most of us have been there. If you have an ex, that sometimes the children are used as a tool, I think, sometimes to make a point.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
not trying to put my ex down in any kind
I
of
know
way.
what
I'm
you
not.
mean.
But just out of for whatever reasons, emotions, or just bad feelings, or just the fact that it didn't work out,
Mhm.
sometimes the children in a position where they have to make a choice. So
Right.
my resolution to that was you get to know dad directly without all the hearing, because they hear one narrative being in the presence of
Mhm.
a mother at the time. And so that for me was the commitment I made, that no matter what, I was going to be that dad. So
Yeah, I went through a divorce as well, and my boys always tell me, Dad, one thing I appreciate about you is that my mom you divorced my mom, but you never divorced us,
that's right.
And
Right.
so, just we try to read as many books as I can on. I mean, it's interesting about human nature. You can
Mhm.
read a book about raising a child, or read a book about divorce, or almost anything, and it seems like that damn psychiatrist or psychologist knows you personally. You know what I mean? You find yourself in these books, right? And then you just
Mhm.
start working on yourself and working on the issues. And so I think that especially with the men and women, how they use the kids as pawn, as Najee was saying, and that's one thing that we definitely have to work on to try to reduce that, or in our interaction, especially if we the families break up. And I think what divorce is, about 60-65% in the United States, and it's probably even higher for blacks. Yeah. Going up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this wasn't a thumbs up. It's like, go up, keep going.
Oh, you saying go up? Oh, with
Yeah,
the
yeah. Oh
percentage.
yeah, oh yeah. That the percentage is higher than that. I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, for me, um, when my kids started acting out, uh, that was like a wake up call. Um, my ex wife, she kind of said, "Well, they're doing not as well in school," and so that was a wake up call. And the second one was, I was so busy chasing the money and chasing the fame and chasing the whatever. It it hit me. I missed a bunch of anniversaries, Christmases,
Mhm.
Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. Working.
Mhm.
One day I got a telephone call to go someplace, and it was on my child's birthday. And this was the one that hit me. It was like a threat from a PD saying that if I didn't show up at their event, this radio
Mhm.
event, that they
Mhm.
were never going to play my record again, or this, that, and the other. And then
Mm.
finally, I've been in the business for years, and it's just like, you know what? Forget you. You know, I ain't coming. I'm not doing it. It was a radio promo thing, so it was free. And for years, it bothered me. I didn't do it, and for years, it bothered me. And
Mhm.
then they called me later to come back to that same station. I was all nervous. I was like, "Oh, man, PD, the PD, the PD." I went there. That person wasn't even working there anymore. And
Mhm.
they had, so it
Probably
was
selling
like
insurance, right? Yeah, yeah.
they had moved on, like,
Mhm.
and they played the record and all this, and yo, you're the greatest artist, and oh, you, and we really appreciate you coming through the house. Like all these things that I missed, thinking that like my career was gonna fall apart because I didn't come to their little whatever it was. So I missed a lot of years like that, but that was definitely the wake up call for me. That one event when it was just like, if you don't show up at this event, we're never gonna play your record. And I was like, I kind of grew up and just had to push back and like, you didn't kiss my butt. I ain't missing my kid's birthday.
Right,
Never
right.
happens. So
And that's why I actually anybody that knows me know that interviewing you guys or other people I've interviewed, it's the only way I can do this is God has to give me something to where I actually care about you guys. And so I ask these questions in the way that I do is because people don't see this side what you guys are talking about. People see, you guys on stage and oh, you doing that jazz, you making me happy, or you singing this love song, and not understanding that there's a sacrifice that happens for you guys as well as the family, because this is your profession, how you make your money. And people don't understand that you guys hurt too. Like, you don't want to miss the birthday. You don't want to miss the basketball game or whatever. And you're trying to, uh, you're trying to make up for it. And it takes what you said, Najee. Sometimes you gotta just wait till a person is older, like your child is older, because there were things that my father taught me that it hurts sometimes because he's not here anymore. And I just wanted to tell him, I get it now. I didn't get it then because I had no point of reference. I didn't have no kid. I didn't have a point of reference, but now I get it. I understand. And for you guys, I know it's been a thing, a labor of love, because you love what you do and you love your kids and you're trying to find that balance. And sometimes, trust me, Najee, I thought I was doing something. I'm sitting there like I'm looking at my wife like, yeah, he left us tickets, And so when I was sitting next to your door, so I'm showing her the interview we did. Like, yeah, see, I had interviewed him and everything. Now keep in mind, I don't even know who she is. And
Right,
she
right.
she's she said, yeah, he's a good guy. I love my
how
dad.
you know? You don't know him.
No, she said it in one sentence. Yeah, he's a good guy. I love my dad. I was like, what? Oh, okay. All right. Oh, all right. Okay. And so
All right.
it's a beautiful thing, to see you guys healthy, enjoying your life, doing what you want to do. My last it's not really a question, it's just if you guys could say something to the next generation of artists, whether it be film, music, whatever, that uh of men who are parents, if there's some wisdom you guys each could impart to them, that will see this, to know like, yeah, I know you're doing your thing, but you're still a dad.
Well, the wisest of us all, who's been here the longest, Mr. Williams, sir, would you like to take the first?
Yeah. Well, I just, I thought it's just standard common sense things,
Mhm.
try not to get involved in substance abuse, respect your parents, what they taught you. Remember your home, your home upbringing, you know what I mean? Save some money. Buy you a house. You're gonna always have to live somewhere. Get a good lawyer. Uh, you know, um, just try to be a good person. Remember that and when people buy your records and they come to see you and everything like that, that don't get a big head and realize that there's always somebody out there, that could always take your place, because this world gonna keep on turning.
Right,
Mm.
right.
Good wisdom. Good wisdom.
Well, for me, I think that what I would try to impart, and what I do impart on
Hmm.
younger up and coming artists, is that
Sure.
this is what we do. This is not everything that you are. It's
Gotcha.
it's a job. It's good to have balance in your life, and take it from someone who has seen, and take it from someone who's had things taken away from it. I lost my daughter recently in January, so this Father's Day will be the first one I had without her. So you know, I take life, and have been, a lot more seriously, and to realize this is just a job. Your family is everything, man. Family, life, God. You know, that's more than anything else, man. You know, you just can't. You just have balance, man. Money, you can always make money, as you know, you can always make money, but you know, live your life so that you can say when you know life is over that you've done the best that you can do and you've been the best person that you can be. So that's it.
I like that.
Well, you know, I think Will said it all really just now, but I don't know. I guess for me, I never really took this part of it, the industry part of it, to a point where I felt I've ever arrived or I was bigger than anybody or any of that. You know, I think as Will just recently experienced, we were reminded. We had a niece last week that we buried, only 23 years old. She
Oh,
died,
wow.
so the family's still reeling from that. And the point is, you know, we're not guaranteed any second in this world. I mean, we only thing we
Right.
can really confidently say that we absolutely know where we are is where you are at the moment. And decisions you make, this is for the young people, decisions you make have impact, have consequences, whether good or bad,
Mm-hmm.
in the future. You know, so, and no one, unfortunately, when we were coming up, my brother and I, and you know, no one sat us down and told us the power of decision. No one ever said, you know, here's power in the choices you make, and they have consequences. Because if I understood that as I understand it as a grown adult now, I would have
Right.
made different choices. You know,
Right.
and at the end of the day, man, when it's all said and done, all the things we've acquired, whether it's money, cars, houses, whatever it is you're in,
Mm-hmm.
going in that little 6-foot box, and it ain't going in there with you. So,
Nah, nah, it ain't.
you know,
Right.
I mean,
I ain't
that's
never
just the
seen it
reality
happen.
of it all. You can acquire all this stuff, man, but you know, when you leave here, it's here for somebody else to benefit from. So the point is, you know, I always say to young people, I say, listen, we're really spiritual creatures in a physical dimension for a short period of time, in a material dimension for a short period. And when that time is over, the body transform into another realm. So don't get caught up here.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can do all the good you can, you know, always never break the ties with family, even if they get on your damn nerves, don't do
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Right.
No,
Walk in
thank
there.
Yeah.
no, thank
That's why, you know, you may not like her all the time, but you
Right.
know, she's part of your existence. You share time and space together at one point. You produce these beautiful beings, and you're connected for eternity just based on that. You know, the human soul is an amazing thing if we understand it. You know, so.
thank you for saying that, Najee, because I've been telling families, especially people in my family, look, this person, they don't have to be your best friend, that they don't have to, but with family, because for some
Yeah.
reason you see in the African American family, we get less and less family reunions. Like
Yeah.
families
That's
are not.
true.
Y'all remember when we were growing up back in the day? Oh, every year we were going to a family reunion, and you would
Yeah, you
see
had to be there.
yeah,
Right.
you had, and you would see people you hadn't seen for years. You get excited. They like, oh, Uncle so and so, or your aunt or so and so, or you know, somebody you haven't seen in years. They're gonna be there. Like, so we've. I'm glad you said that. I appreciate that because I've been trying to echo that in my own family for years. That hey man, life is too short to. I mean, I remember my mom went in the hospital on a Tuesday, died Friday. Wasn't
Ooh.
expecting her to die. You know, so what you're saying is real, and will, from my experience, I can't imagine, you know, losing a child, but going through pain, my own pain myself. I would say this to you: what someone told me was that you have the right to feel whatever you're feeling at that moment. You
Yeah.
know, whether you're happy, sad, angry, whatever it is, just ride that wave. Just ride
Yeah.
it, you know. And when it was so funny when I heard, because I was doing the interview because you and Johnny Britt had just
Oh yeah.
collab, and,
Hmm.
Johnny had told me, and I said, and so I called Pam and I said, I don't want to be intrusive, but can you let him know I'm thinking about him? Just, you know,
Man, thank you, brother.
praying for it. Like I said, man, I have to care. In order for me to do this, I actually have to care. So I don't just do this just because you guys are my musical heroes, or, you know, just trying to blow up my podcast and nothing like that. I also do it because I genuinely care about the people uh, that I interview, and you know, you guys, like I said, people a lot of times don't see the things that you guys go through. And I know if I go through it as a man, I know you guys go through it, but it's a little bit different because I always say I can make my mistakes behind closed doors. When you guys make a mistake, like Najee,
Yes.
when you posted, when people were like, oh, about the concert with you and Will, I felt the need, I had to get on there and say, hold on, I know these guys. These guys are not like that. If
Right,
something
right.
happened, it was a promoter, man. Don't come at them like that. You know, don't
You're,
come at
you're
the.
you're talking about the thing in California, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I remember when you had
Oh
posted it,
boy.
and I had to. I wanted to make sure I jumped on there. Like, hey, no, 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 no.
Oh, yeah,
Don't.
the artists always get the blame, and
Yeah.
I recall that, I started hearing the rumors about Will, and I saw Will. Will was there, but the
Right.
people that so I let him know, no, that brother was there. That was not his fault, and he even had to defend the promoter on that one because the city of Malibu actually did some very unscrupulous things that
Yeah.
made it virtually impossible. I mean, we toughed it out. We went and did it. We
Right.
held on the whole thing, but
Been there and done that. Yeah, yeah.
Listen,
at the end
man.
of the day, I felt obligated to tell the real story, and that was really that.
Well, here's just a piggyback that, man, Malibu is a beautiful area,
Yeah,
stunning.
Right.
Everywhere
Yes.
you turn is, beautiful water, the beaches, the this,
Mhm.
the pond pit. I don't know how the hell this happened. This dude got the absolute worst patch of land in Malibu that I've ever seen in my life.
well, really, he had originally the concert was set on the beach. It was the city of Malibu that pushed him over to that side. But he'd
Man,
already paid and had and they came up with some city ordinance, man, that forced them to be in that little thing. It was horrible.
oh,
Got treated horrible.
I mean, this
Oh
place made a
man.
third world country look like
Right.
look like Malibu,
Right.
like the real Malibu. Man, I ain't never seen nothing like it. Like it, it's like where his sight line ended, it was like beautiful trees, but like with the sight that he had, I've never seen anything this unattractive in my life.
It was bad. Dust, everything, man. It was
See, and see, that's the other thing. See, that's the other thing people don't understand that the three of you guys go to. Like, they can a promoter could come, they can have the money,
But
and
he
then
didn't have
you
that
get,
either.
and then what?
He didn't have that either. So
Yeah,
I
well,
let him off the hook.
Seconds, right? Yeah, yeah.
and honestly, in all fairness, he was really they put him in a legal position where he had to come up and bring attorneys. And I think we played on a Saturday, but that Friday,
Uh-huh.
that
I
Friday,
think he
that
just
Friday
got the
evening
permission. Yeah.
before, yeah, they had really put him in a position where he had to come up with just crazy money at the last minute. Basically, the city of Malibu did not want it to happen. That's all.
That's
Even
basically
though
what it
this
was.
was not a rap concert where you was getting the drugs of Crenshaw, it was none of that. It was
Right.
sophisticated people. The audience that Will and I have known and grown up with, he was those people, settled and very,
Yeah.
and
I like that crowd
I,
because when the
I'm not going to
concert,
call it a racial thing. I'm not going to call it
yeah.
a racial thing, but I will say that the city of Malibu did
Mhm.
not want that concert to happen, and they did everything in their power to undermine the promoter. So, and I'm not usually one to stand up for promoters, but this one I was a witness to. So
Yeah.
Well, I just, like I said, I just wanted to make sure, like you guys are stand-up guys, and I didn't like, like you said, Najee, how people was trying to portray you and Will and put out there and make it
yeah,
seem one way than another, and so you three gentlemen have always been classy. I love the concert, like you said, Najee, the type of concert you guys put on. Because I always say, think about grown people. When the concert over, we go home. Ain't nobody, ain't nobody hanging
no,
out in the
no, not at
parking
all.
lot. Ain't nobody doing all
No,
that. Yeah,
ain't no
yeah,
guns, ain't no shooting, none of
yeah.
that.
Everybody like, let's go. Look, we going home. There was a beautiful concert. Will song, Lenny song, Najee played. Hey, we going home. That's it.
Go home, make a
So.
little love, and get down tonight. Yeah.
There we go.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on the show and sharing your experiences and fatherhood and the wisdom. Thank you for coming on once again. You gentlemen, please stay safe and
Yes,
stay
sir.
blessed. And I love to have you guys back on the show again. Najee, thank you, because Will was looking at me side eye. You know what I'm saying? Because see, Najee, you confirmed first. I just threw the idea out there. You confirmed first. Then Will confirm. And then Mr. Williams, so gracious, bless the president. For him, it was kind of last minute. I reached out to a PR person that I knew him, and he came back on the show. He was like my surprise for you guys, and
Right.
Lenny is royalty to us. I mean, he's, we remember, man, so many of the hits that you've done. So it was really good to see you, man. It's been years since I've seen you.
It's been a while. Yes, right. Yeah. I'm seeing 80 right now. It's right around the bend here, but
wow,
happy birthday! You wear it well.
We can only be so blessed.
I appreciate all the work that you guys have done too. Yeah, and my condolences to you, Will, and in my present thoughts, and God bless everybody, and happy Father's Day. Yeah,
happy Father's Day. I will drop this the week of Father's Day, Najee. I had told them earlier, so I'm going to drop it next week. And like Will say, it's Father's Day, so any restaurant will be open to us.
Here's
the key. You're not supposed to pay on that day, man.
Right,
imagine that.
Well, good luck with that, right? Yeah.
Let me tell you a funny story before you all leave. Based on what you just said, every Father's Day, we would get together as a family and go out, and my father would always be upset that we were going out on Father's Day every year. And we go out and me and my brother would pay the bill. I mean, we were kids. My mother would give us money and say, okay, you guys are going to pay for the bill. And the waiter would come, we got it. He go in his pocket, I go in my pocket, and we pay the waiter, right? And so as we got older, one year, my father just got upset. It's like, okay, no, we ain't going out. I don't want to go out. I don't want it. And so I was like, hey, well, why don't you go out? He pulled me aside. You don't know this, but your mother always asks me for money to go to Father's Day, and she gives it to you guys to make you feel like you were paying the bill because she wanted you to have the experience of being a man. He said, and I'm saying,
that's crazy. That's funny. That is hilarious.
Oh, wow.
I hate fathers. Father kiss my black ass.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that is hilarious. Yeah, if I was your dad, I wouldn't want to go out either. I keep giving a spell.
Well, I got lucky. The last time I went out to eat, 2 times I went out with my son, and it was my tradition. I just pull out the card and pay, and he's like, "Dad, what are you doing?" I'm like, "What are you doing?" He knew I was going to do that, so he went ahead and paid the waiter ahead of time.
Oh man, that's great.
So I was like, wow, man.
I haven't had that experience yet.
It's automatic.
You guys get that sometimes.
It's automatic. You just pull out the wallet. Yeah, right.
Yeah, man.
My wife and daughters blessed me last year because they know I like to grill. And so my wife calls me and said, hey, come downstairs and help me get the groceries. I said, okay. I come downstairs, and she's got the pellet grill in the back of the SUV, and I said, hey, back it up to the fence, back it up, because the privacy fence in the backyard. And I pulled it out because my wife know me so well. See, Will, I'm not the put it together. I'm not that guy. You got to get me the display. I need the display. Right. I need it all ready together. So when Father's Day hit, my daughter said, Daddy, what you doing? It's Father's Day. I said, girl, I'm finna light this grill. It's going down. Daddy finna grill. It's going down right now. So they've kind of blessed me the last couple of years. My wife bought me a 75-inch TV. But as y'all know, in true fashion form, the kids watch it more than I do. So right. I don't think it's my TV actually anymore. Right. So.
Well, if it's in your house, it's for everyone, right? There you go.
There you go. It's in your house. It's for everyone. So you guys stay safe and be blessed out there. And I love you, man. I love you guys.
Love you too, brother. Good to see you. Will, it's good to see you, man.
You too, brother.
Good to see you.